Hello and welcome to your next video. Today I'm going to show you how to fill out the 1040 EZ tax form. Now don't be alarmed. They call it the EZ tax form for a reason. It's the simplest version. And I'm going to teach you how to fill it out because that way you don't have to pay someone else or depend on your parents for the rest of your life. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you need to do is figure out if you need to file a tax form. And if you're a dependent, which most of you still are, that means that your parents claim you on their tax form, you need to file your own taxes if one of these four things is true. 1. Your unearned income, which would be things like interest income, is over $950. 2. Your earned income, so this is income from a job, is over $5,950. 3. Your earnings from self-employment, so this is a job that you've created for yourself, are over $400, or 4. Your combined earned and unearned income is more than $950, or your earned income plus an additional $300. So if one of those is not true, then you don't have to file a tax form. You may still want to file a tax form, because as soon as you can show that you have earned income, you are eligible to start some sort of IRA, whether it be a traditional or a Roth. And we know that the sooner we can start putting money into retirement, the better off we'll be. There are 3 important tax dates that I want you to remember. The first one is January 31st, because by this date you should have all of your tax documents sent to you. It doesn't mean that you necessarily will. There are some businesses that will wait until the very last second, but in theory you should have everything by then. March 1st, this is a review date that I want you to remember because we've already talked about how your FAFSA form should be turned in by March 1st. And the last one is April 15th. This is the date that your taxes are due. The stuff you need to fill out the 1040 EZ tax form is pretty simple. You need your W-2, some basic personal information about yourself, and any interest income that you've earned over the course of the year. Now, of course, you're also going to need the actual tax form and the tax table that goes along with it, but once you have that stuff, you'll have everything that you need. Here is our practice problem. We're going to use a W-2 and the following information to fill out a 1040 EZ tax form together. So here's our information. We're going to fill it out for Jose D. Cuevas. He's single and he wants to contribute to the Presidential Campaign Fund. He has $150 in taxable interest income from a savings account and can't be claimed by anyone else. Jose is an accountant and his phone number is 123-456-7890. So let's try to fill out his tax form for him. Here is Jose's 1040 EZ, and I've already filled out the information at the top. This is the personal information that the tax form is going to ask you for. It's going to ask you for your name, it's going to ask you for your address and your social security number, and whether you want to contribute to the Presidential Election Campaign Fund. So all of this stuff is at the top. And I've already filled it in because we are more interested in the actual dollar amounts and how the rest of the form works. Okay, number 1, wages, salaries, and tips. This should be shown in box 1 of your W-2. So we're going to need to flip over to our W-2. Here's our W-2. You can see his name and address and social security number, so you can pull all that information from there, but hopefully you'd have it memorized. Okay, so box 1. Notice that there is a heavy black line around box 1 and box 2. These are the 2 boxes that we are going to use to fill out this form. How convenient. Alright, so his wages are $36,024. So we are going to flip back over to, and we're going to type in $36,024. Taxable interest is number 2. If the total is over $1,500, you can't use the 1040 EZ. But Jose only has $150. And then that takes us to number 3, unemployment compensation and Alaska Permanent Fund dividends. He doesn't live in Alaska and it didn't say anything about unemployment, so that's going to be 0. And number 4, we're going to add our lines 1, 2, and 3. This is the adjusted gross income. So when we add, we don't have anything for 3, so really we're just adding 1 and 2, and we get $36,174. That takes us to line 5. If someone can claim you as a dependent, you're going to check the applicable boxes below and enter the amount from the worksheet on the back. But no one can claim Jose. So we're going to skip down underneath the boxes, and it says if no one can claim you, enter 9750 if you're single. So that's what we're going to do over here. 9750. And then that takes us to line 6, which says subtract line 5 from line 4. If line 5 is larger than line 4, enter 0. This is your taxable income. So we have to look and see which one is bigger. Line 4 is larger than line 5, so that means that we are going to subtract, and we are going to get $26,424. Number 7. Federal income tax withheld from Form W-2 and 1099s. He doesn't have a 1099, but he does have the W-2. So we're going to flip back to the W-2. Remember, I told you there was this heavy black line around box 1 and 2 for a reason. So this is the number that we need, $3,602.40. So we're going to flip back to our form, and we are going to type in $3,602 and then put our 40 cents over here. Earned income credit, this is going to be 0 for Jose, and then it doesn't have any combat pay, so earned income credit was part A, part B was non-taxable combat pay. And then 9, we're going to add lines 7 and 8A. These are our total payments and credits. So for us, it's going to be the same number that we typed in above, $3,602, and then putting our 40 cents over here. Tax. Use the amount on line 6 above to find the tax in the tax table in the instructions. Then enter the tax from the table on this line. Okay, so we need to now flip over to our tax table, which can be found in the instructions, either in paper form, if you still find paper forms, or it's right on the internet. You can pull it up. So you can see that this is a 2012 tax table, and the amount on line 6 was $26,424. So that's the amount we're going to find in just a second. But first I want to show you how this works. Here we have at least, so if your tax is, or if your adjusted gross income is at least this number, but less than this number, then it shows you how much tax you pay, whether you be single, married filing jointly, married filing separately, or head of household. So we are looking for the range. We're finding the spot where our number falls into the range. And it gives you a sample table up here in the corner in case you can't remember how that works. So we're going to flip down through quite a lot of this because we need to get into the 26,000 range. So here are the 26,000s, and when we find our $26,424, it's going to fit between $26,400 and $26,450, and that means that our tax is $3,529. And that's what we're going to enter into our form. So we're going to flip back to the form, and the number we found in the tax table was $3,529. On to the refund or the amount you owe. You will only fill out one of 11 or 12 because you can't be getting a refund and also owe the government money. So we have to look at both of them. If line 9 is larger than line 10, that means we're getting a refund. If line 10 is larger than line 9, that means we're paying in. So when we look at 9 and 10, we should realize that we are getting a refund. And we subtract our numbers, and we find that we are getting a refund of $73.40. So most of the tax form is now filled out. You can enter a routing number and account number for your bank, and the government's going to deposit your refund directly into your bank account. This is the fastest and easiest way to get your refund. Third-party designee means that you're going to allow another person to discuss the return with the IRS. So if you want someone to be able to do that, then you can fill out this information. Most of the time, I would say that you are not going to do that. You want to be the one that discusses it with the IRS. You're going to provide your signature, the date, occupation, so he was an accountant, and daytime phone number. So it was 123-456-7890. And that's really all there is to it. If you have paid someone to fill out this form, then they will put their information down here. But you should not pay anyone to fill out the 1040EZ because you can do it on your own. Okay, obviously the thing that you should have gotten from this video is the ability to fill out the 1040EZ tax form. So hopefully that is what you got out of the video. Godspeed.